It is Friday, September 17th of 2021, and you are watching Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! Bam! Bam, I say. And welcome everyone to a special Friday edition of Guy's Daily Drive. I really don't know why I call it a special Friday edition, since I have recorded these literally on every day of the week over the last few years. It's not like Friday has any special significance as far as recording Guy's Daily Drive goes, but there you go. Since this has become pretty much a weekly kind of thing that I do, doing another one, I guess, just makes it special all on its own. So the actual day of the week doesn't have any particular significance, but sure, let's call it a special Friday edition. So I'm very tired and a little sore because I had some unexpected activity last night. Now, as far as work goes, we've started doing this like kind of team building thing, where on Wednesdays after work we go bowling. And as a team exercise, it's like, okay, well, it's as good an activity as any other, I suppose. But it is fun, and I do enjoy getting together outside of the work environment for or with some of my coworkers. And we bowled on Wednesday, and I did okay. You know, my average is typically, I'm not a great bowler. My average is typically in the 130 to 150 range. That's about as good as I usually get. And I have gone as low as under 100 a few times when I just couldn't get the groove going. Hold on. And as high, recently I had a game, it was 178, 179, something like that. Just kept hitting these spares. No strikes. Or maybe one, but lots of spares. So I got a message from my son Peter last week asking if I wanted to join a poker game. And by poker, it's like Texas Hold'em, you know, everybody puts in for $20, and when your $20 is gone, then you're out of the game. And it's $20, you know. And I was like, yeah, sure, I love playing poker. It's another activity I'm not particularly great at, but you know, for the neighborhood games that I've attended, or something like this, at the most you lose $20-$40, and you have a couple of beers or sodas or whatever it is you like to drink, tell silly stories. And just it's just fun. Everybody has a good time. So I was all up for it. I was like, yeah, let's play. And it was going to be Saturday, this coming Saturday. But then the next day, I get a message from him saying, can't get some of the people together that they usually play with. So poker was out, but he still wanted to get together. So he suggested Thursday. Now, Thursdays, actually any day during the week, headed south from the Washington, D.C. area is a problem, especially in the afternoon, because that's when everybody's trying to go south. And it takes forever. So I said, okay, well, let's find an activity. So we settled on bowling. Even though I bowl on Wednesday nights, I figured, okay, you know what, it'll still be fun. Hopefully, I won't be, my arm won't be too tired from bowling the night before. And it wasn't. It was okay. And so then we found a lane, and there's a place near where he lives. It's like a combination movie theater, video arcade, and bowling alley. And I've been to the movie theater, and I saw the arcade last night, and I bowled last night. And it doesn't do any of those things particularly well. It's a date destination. That's basically what this place is. Oh, we got some people. Hello, Mike. Michael Lacey is in the house. So good to see you. But I had never bowled. I'd never bowled at this place before. So it's like, okay, well, let's give that a try. So we got like 6 people together. It was Peter and his significant other, Liza. Jake, who longtime watchers of Guy's Daily Drive and various other stuff that I've done. This was the young man that I took along with my son Peter down to Florida for their 21st birthday. And that was what they wanted. They wanted to go to Universal Studios Florida. I've told that story, so we're going to move on. And then another friend of theirs that I'd never met before, named Nick. And none of these guys are bowlers. They don't do it on a regular basis. I mean, it doesn't matter. It was just something to do to get together. And when I was telling Tracy about all this, she was like, oh, well, maybe I'd like to go too. And we only had 5 people. So I was like, sure. We can have 6 people on the lane. That'll be fine. And we did. So Tracy comes down to where I work, because I work south of where we live, and it would make more sense for her to come south than for me to go north, pick her up, and then go south again, especially in the afternoon here in D.C. And we drove down to Peter's house, and we spent, it was a couple hours, waiting for people to do the various things that they wanted to do. And as it turned out, I'm awfully glad we left when we did, because it started to rain just after we got there. And any kind of change in the weather in this area makes crappy traffic even crappier. So I'm kind of glad we left when we did. But we get to this bowling alley, and first off, we couldn't find exactly where to go in where the bowling was. Finally figured that out. And they've got apparently 14 lanes, and it's spread out in the building. And they have usually like 6 lanes in each little area. I didn't see all the different areas, so I couldn't say for sure. But the area that we were in had 6 lanes, and the lanes seemed shorter than other bowling alleys I've been on. I can't say for sure, and I certainly didn't measure it. And it didn't seem as wide either. And it, because this is a place that tries to do so many things, like a jack of all trades, it's all inclusive and master of none. And so we get there, and we get on our first lane, and it keeps holding on to our balls. And it's like, we have to keep calling people over to come and retrieve our balls. Now, for pretty much everyone else, it wasn't that big of a deal, but for Tracy and I, we each have our own balls. And if it's holding onto them, well, then we can't shoot our second shot, assuming we, didn't score a strike, which was a rare occasion for both Tracy and I last night. So after a while, and then it started getting even worse, because it started dropping pins as it was re-racking. It would, like, 1 or 2 pins would drop out of the rack. And it was like, come on, this is, you should have someone here to take care of these things. And it didn't seem like they really did. And it's not the fault of the people that were there. It's the fault of management for not having adequately trained personnel to do the quick maintenance things that you need to do with something like a bowling alley. And it just took, like, in fighting, we gave up. It's like, look, just move us to this alley over here. They had another alley that was real close by. So we moved to the other alley, and the little screen that you use to keep track of your scores and everything kept flashing in and out, but we could see enough of it to know who was going to bowl next and what our scores were. And at that point, it was like, let's just bowl, instead of moving around from lane to lane hoping that the experience would get better. And that's not even to mention that they had the whole, dark lighting going on and different colored pins for different kinds of activities. And, it was just weird. It was weird because it was obvious that bowling was not, people who want to come in to bowl, to actually bowl, was not a high priority for the people that ran this place. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's a destination. So people show up and they throw balls down the lane and they laugh if not all the pins are stacked up. There wasn't even a reset button that I could find to re-rack the pins in case of something like that happening. And the food was, then we got food while we were there, and it was okay. It wasn't. It's not like I'm going to sit there and go, wow, we should go to this bowling alley / movie theater / arcade just to eat because the food is that good. It's like, no, it really wasn't. On the other hand, the service that we were provided in relation to the food was excellent. The attendant that we had was personable and fun, and there was a mistake made. Somebody got a lemonade instead of an iced tea, and it was like, okay, don't worry about it. They brought us another iced tea, didn't charge us for the lemonade. And so, no complaints about the food service. Food service was great. Even the people that were trying to help us with the bowling issues, they were fine. Very personable. They really, really tried to help us and get us through the issues that we were having. They just weren't trained to take care of those issues. And again, that's not their fault. That's the fault of management. Inadequate training. So we got done with all that, and by the time we actually left the movie theater, the bowling alley, it was almost 9 o'clock because we had like a 2-hour window for this to happen, and they let us extend a little bit so we could get through 2 games because of all the problems that we were having with the lanes they gave us. So then it was raining when we left. And Tracy was of half a mind to just leave her car at work and then go with me this morning to pick it up. But she was bringing it in for service. So I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. So we had to stop by work, pick up her car. And then by the time we finally got home, it was after 10 o'clock. And, I had to work today. She had her things that she had to do today. And we were both just really tired. Well, that was my exciting Thursday night bowling. I guess you could call it bowling. And, that's pretty much all the stuff that happened there. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can. Podcast@vertshark.com is a great email address. It's my new one. You can go to vertshark.com and see all the audios and see all the videos right there at vertshark.com. You can go to YouTube, look up VertShark on YouTube, and like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. That's all you got to do. It's so easy. Very, very easy. There's also, of course, the fabulous MyMac.com podcast that I do with Gaz every single week. We'll be recording one of those this weekend.